guys, and welcome to Mag's house. And in today's video, we say hello. Are going to be making lots of different baby foods. Okay, we are meal prepping baby food today. These are more stage 1 baby foods, so we're about to jump right in. So I'm starting off with 9 mango slices that I am placing into my baby bullet with 3 ounces of breast milk. I just end up using a measuring cup just to pour it in there and then applying the lid. And to my surprise, it did not blend or puree the mangoes at all. What I found out was it probably would have been better to cut it into small pieces and or boil or steam it to soften it up. But just by it being just straight fresh mangoes, it just was way too hard. And as you can see, I'm just struggling. Like, I tried to use a spatula to move things around, make sure the liquid was all the way at the bottom, and just it was not working. So I decided to pull out my Ninja because yes, that was going to definitely do the trick. I normally make my smoothies with this, but I just pulled out the cup that goes with my Ninja and poured the mangoes and breast milk into that cup. And as you can see, I didn't put all of it, and that's just because I didn't want it to get jammed up. So I put enough of it for it to work, and then I did go back and add the rest of it in. And my goodness, y'all, this smelled so good. I'm not even gonna lie, it seemed like it would have tasted really good. Here we go. Y'all see the consistency? Nice and liquidy. I am super excited. Genevieve, girl, what's the problem? I know you want to be over here, but this is sharp objects, baby girl. And now I am just pouring my pureed baby mango food into the freezer tray that came with the baby bullet. This is the same freezer tray that I used in my original baby food making video where I made a squash puree, and she absolutely loved it. If you haven't checked it out, see the description box after watching this video, and I will have the link below. But anyway, this is just how I begin to meal prep so that we have multiple options for her, starting off one by one. And these go into the refrigerator for day 2 and 3. And of course, today is day 1. That was the 3rd container, and we're gonna try it now. What you think, Jenny? You ready? Oh, you like that, huh, girl? Ooh, what are you gonna jump out the chair for it? You gonna jump out of the chair for it, Mamacita? Wait, I'm coming. Okay. Alright, safe to say you like mangoes. It's very important to clean in between different meal preparations so that you're not contaminating the food. So now I'm moving on to apples. So I started off by peeling 3 apples. I made sure the skins were removed from them because that's just way too hard for a baby to digest, regardless if it's boiled or steamed. Like, I wouldn't have the skin on there. When she gets older, we can try it, but not for right now. So I decided to boil the apples. I let them cook for about 5 to 10 minutes and then used a large spoon to remove them from the water and then let them cool off a bit. By me boiling these apples first, it made them much easier to cook. I added 1/3 of a cup of breast milk, and it's just directly in with the apples and then began to puree. Now, as you can see, this one mixed up a lot better than the mangoes, but they're a lot softer and smaller pieces than the mangoes. So the baby bullet definitely does work. And you want to make sure you're taking any leftover breast milk and putting it in the fridge. So this is my Amazon purchase of an additional freezer tray. I was so excited about this. It's the Tot, I want to say, is the name of it, or the name of the company, freezer tray. But I was so excited to receive this in the mail. The lid on the tray allows you to be able to pull 1 cube at a time if you want, and then you can mix them. You can do it however you want. So anyway, I'm moving on to blueberries now. I am using 2 cups of blueberries, and I decided to steam these blueberries out. Those blueberries was looking some good. But anyway, while one of my items is cooking, I take that time to multitask and start taking the frozen purees out of the trays, and then I make sure I label it. I always put what it is, the month and the year on it. These are only good for about 3 months, I believe. And so again, if I need one to defrost, then I'll go ahead and put that in the container and put that either on the counter to defrost a bit, and then in the refrigerator, and then the remainder I put in a freezer bag like so. And as you can see, you just take your finger and just slide these out. I kind of think this is a little easier than the baby bullet one, but I guess it just depends on preference. So, and that one melted a little too much. So now I am taking my steamed blueberries out, and I'm just going to allow those to cool off a bit in this other pot. And by the way, I make sure to try each one of these foods 1 week at a time. So I do a 7-day course of each puree to make sure that she doesn't have any allergic reactions, and if she does, I will know which one caused it. So that's just one thing that I know to do as a RN, along with discussion with my pediatrician. But you speak with your pediatrician about what works best for you and your family. Anyway, now I am moving on to placing the blueberries in the batch bowl. I'm taking 4 ounces of water along with 2 scoops of formula to make the liquid portion of the puree. It was important to me to show this because I don't want people to feel like, oh, only breastfeeding moms can do this. No, moms who use formula can do this also, and my baby, like, we do mix. Like, I try and supply as much breast milk as I can, and when I run out, I don't lose my mind. I just use formula. I would say that it is a different consistency. It was a little bit more gooey, and that could have just been the blueberries too, but it seemed a little bit more gooey and thick. But anyway, as you can see, my freezer tray is ready because I emptied it and washed it. And so now I can put that in the freezer and move on to the green beans. With the green beans, you want to make sure they are cleaned. You want to make sure you take the stems off and the ends. I have 2 cups of green beans that I am steaming, just as I did with the blueberries. Now, the green beans are a little bit tougher. This will be probably towards the end of stage 1, maybe going into stage 2 foods. But it is something with a lot of nutrients, a lot of vitamins and minerals that the baby will benefit from. So I just wanted to go ahead and make that. I am adding 3 ounces of breast milk and formula. For that one, I had just mixed it in a cup until it equaled 3 ounces. So either you can do one that's completely breast milk, one that's completely formula, or you can mix them together. This was something I did discuss with my pediatrician, and my daughter, I think that it helped her accept the formula better when it had the breast milk in it. But again, speak with your pediatrician about what works best for you and your family. Now, last but not least, we're doing sweet potatoes, and I love sweet potatoes personally, so I just figured she was going to love them too. I am going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees, And then it's very important that you rinse off your sweet potatoes. Make sure they're really clean. Get all that dirt and gunk off of there, because you don't want to be baking that and feeding that to your child. So I'm just taking a fork and puncturing little holes into the sweet potatoes so that it can cook all the way through. And I'm going to use some aluminum foil to wrap each sweet potato. So the same way if you make sweet potatoes for yourself or your family, or baked potatoes, it's kind of that same whole idea. And I do think that this whole baby food making is a great way to get the siblings involved. My son loves making food for his sister. It's really become our thing, and it's a great way to bond and spend time together, along with making him feel very important for providing for his sister. So again, while that's baking in the oven, I'm multitasking and taking the frozen blueberry puree out so that I can have my freezer tray prepared for whenever the sweet potatoes are done. Those are my green beans, and ooh, don't you love the color? So the sweet potatoes are done and have cooled off a bit. We are taking all the skin off and just placing them into that batch bowl again, and adding 2 ounces of breast milk. Also, for us, this food making process is supervised. Like, I would not leave any of my kids around these sharp objects or a hot stove or any of this without my supervision. So I would advise the same to keep everyone safe. Anyway, so we end up adding 2 ounces of formula. Yes, look at this silly face. So we added 2 ounces of formula and stirred to make sure the liquid made its way to the bottom, because it just seemed like it wasn't blending that well. And you'll be able to see on here, whenever it starts to get like that circle in the middle and it starts really moving around, that's whenever it's really getting a nice good consistency and starting to blend it all the way through, because you don't want to end up having big chunks in the middle of the meal, especially for like a little baby. Like, you don't want the baby to choke. So, and then we'll go through the same process of freeze, label, and eat. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you research when a baby should try different foods based on their number of months. Comment below, and until next time, turn your lights on.